Hey boys and girls, my name is Jaclyn and today I'm going to show you guys how to make some awesome hand drums. Okay, so to make our hand drums, we're going to need a few items. We're going to need some tape, so duct tape and scotch tape. We're going to need some scissors. We're going to need some yarn. So you can see I got some yarn. We're going to need a pencil. We're going to need some beads. So you can see I have a couple of beads here. We're going to need some crayons or markers to decorate our hand drums. And we're going to need some cardboard paper. Okay, awesome. So you guys can use the side of your box for the paper if you want to, or you guys can get some like really thin construction or cardboard paper from your recycling boxes. So it's up to you. And once you guys have all of your materials, we can begin. So the first step into making our hand drums is to take our construction paper, and we're gonna cut out a nice long strip. So you guys can see I cut out this nice long strip from my construction paper and from my cardboard paper, And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it into a circle. So you can see mine is very tiny, it doesn't even cover my hand. So what I did was I made two. So if you find that it's too tiny for your hand, you guys can just cut off two strips. So you can see I have two strips, and I'm just going to take my tape and I'm going to attach the two together. Okay, awesome. So I'm just gonna take my tape and I'm going to attach the two sides together so it's like one really big strip. And then I'm going to take my big strip and I'm going to wrap it together until it makes this awesome circle. Okay, so once you guys made your circles, so you guys can see I'm taking my strip and I'm making this nice big circle. What you guys can do is you can take your cardboard paper and you're going to put it down. You can see, you put it down and you're going to trace out your circles. So I already made my circles. See, I made my circles here. So you guys are going to trace out your circles like using this. You're going to put it on your construction paper and you're going to trace out that circle. You're going to trace out that nice big circle. And you're going to use that for your drum. Okay, so once you guys cut out your circles, you can add some decorations. Pause the video, take your time. And you can see from mine, I added some like crazy lines and some like shapes. They kind of look like Easter eggs, but that's okay. You guys can add whatever you want to your drums. So just take your time, pause your video. And once you guys are done decorating, your circles, you guys can cut them out, and then once you're done cutting them out, you can put them to the side, and we can, we'll use them later. Okay? So now that we have our circles all cut out, we're going to take what we made before, our little like cone, like loop shape, not cone, our circle shape, and we're going to poke some holes in. So we're going to take our scissors and we're going to poke in 3 holes. So I already made mine because it took me a while. So you guys can see I poked 1 hole on one side and then on the opposite side. So they're like facing each other. And then 1 on the bottom. So it's going to be like 1, 2, and then 3. So you guys can take your time, pause the video, get an adult if you need help. And what you guys can do is you can either take your scissors and like poke a hole like through your construction paper, or you guys can like fold it, like I did this one, and you can like make a little cut in and then like expand it a little bit. It's up to you. So just make sure you have 3 holes, and once you guys are done, you can get your yarn. So you're gonna get some yarn. And we're going to use the yarn. What we're going to do is we're going to put it through our 2 holes. So make sure your yarn is long enough that it's going to go through the 2 holes. So you can see that I have my yarn. It's pretty long. You guys don't have to make it that long. Just make it a reasonable size. And what you guys are going to do is you're going to feed it through 1 hole. And then you're going to feed it through the other. Just like that. Awesome. So you can see I got it through the hole, and I have some like extra. And if you guys can like tie that. So you can see I tied it on one side, and I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna tie it on the other. Just like that. So it's gonna be like a little bit in the middle and then on the 2 sides. Awesome. So you can see there's my knot. There's my knot. And once you guys added your yarn, what you can do is you can take your 2 tops and you can add them on to your circle. So you guys can get out your duct tape. Get some nice pieces of duct tape, and you guys can just cut them off, and just like add them on. So make sure not to cover up your holes where the yarn is, or the other hole at the bottom. So like if you want to, you guys can make like an X with your duct tape. So you guys can see I'm like making some nice big X on here, so it covers it. Just take your time, get some help if you need to. Pause the video. Yep, and just have some fun with it. So you can see I'm like adding some X. I'm adding like an X to make sure it sticks. So just make sure it's like sticking on the side. Make sure it doesn't cover up the holes, so you can see that I still have my 2 holes. And you can see that I actually covered up one of my holes. I didn't even listen to myself. So you guys can just, if you cover up a hole by accident, you guys can just like move it to the side. See? Now it's not on top. Awesome. So if you guys already guessed, we're going to use this for our like drum. So just make sure it's nice and sticked on and it's not falling apart. And once you guys have one side on, you guys can do the other side. So I have one side on now, and I can do the other side. So I'm putting it right on top. I'm just gonna tape it on. So if you guys do not want your decorations to be covered, you can see that I kind of covered my decorations when I was doing that. But you guys can like make smaller pieces of tape, and what you can do is you can just make some little pieces. You can just like, here I'll show you. You guys can just attach it to the 2 sides instead. So you can see now it only covers up a little bit of my design, and I can do that with all of it. Or I can take like a really nice long strip and I can just like make it so it only covers up a little bit of it. And I'll show you what I mean as soon as I get it on. So this is probably the trickiest part of the craft, so if you need some help, definitely get some help, guys. So you can see I added some right here. It's not very effective, so probably not suggesting to do that. Yeah, so like I said, it's probably going to take some time. Pause the video for sure, guys, if you need it. Just make sure that your 2 sides are nice and covered. And if you have some space, so you can see I have some space right here, I can just add some tape to make sure the space is covered. You might notice that my circles are not perfectly fitting onto my little loop, and that's okay. You might notice that it's not going to fit onto your loop. That's just how it is. So you guys can just add some tape instead. Awesome. So you guys can see now I have all my tape on. Now all my sides, I'm going to shake it a little bit, make sure nothing falls apart. Awesome. So now that I have all my pieces added, just like that, I'm going to take my beads. So I'm going to take my beads and I'm going to add them to the 2 sides of the string. So I'm going to put it through bead number 1 and then bead number 2. And I'm just going to like tie a little knot when I'm done. So you guys can see I have my beads and I'm tying a little knot. Make sure they don't go off anywhere. And you guys can do that for the other side too. You can put them in and then like tie a knot so they won't fall out. So you can see I'm taking my little string and I'm tying a little knot. Just like that. Oop, they fell through. That's okay. So you guys might notice that you might need to tie a few times so it doesn't fall off. That's okay. Just take your time. Get some help if you guys need to. And once you're done, your hand drum is going to look something like this. You guys can see I added a couple of knots, so now the beads aren't coming off. And I'm going to fix my other one because my other one is not the same. So I'll just do the same thing. I'll just add a couple of knots so it doesn't fall off. Kind of like bracelets, if you guys ever made bracelets like that before. You might notice that you might need a couple of knots so they don't fall off. And awesome! There you go. So now you guys can see I have my beads on. You guys can add more than 2. I only added 2. But you guys can add like 5 if you want to. And you guys can see my string is pretty long. So it's like pretty long. And that's okay. You guys can make it shorter if you want to by like tying it or like taping it on a little bit higher. It's up to you. And once you guys are done, you're going to take that pencil. So you guys are going to take that pencil you used and you're going to find the 3rd hole you made. So you can see there's my 3rd hole. It's kind of covered in duct tape, but I can just move the duct tape over. It's not a big deal. And what you're going to do is you're going to poke your pencil through your hole just like that. And there you go. Awesome. So now you guys have like a little hold for your hand drum. And if you guys notice it's kind of off balance, like you can see mine's like really wobbly, you guys can take some tape, so either some duct tape or some scotch tape. You guys can just tape it around so it stays in place. Use your scissors, cut some duct tape and just make sure it's nice and sticky. Just like this. You can see now it's less wiggly. It's not moving. You guys can just keep on adding some tape till it's all done. And soon it should be pretty solidified. It should be pretty like solid. And you guys can use it to hold your drum. So now that you're holding your like handle, you guys can take your hand, you guys can make some music. It's all up to you guys. Maybe go like this. Just have some fun, make some music, make your own song if you want to. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so yeah, that's our craft for today. I hope you guys have an awesome time making your own hand drums. And if you guys want to, you can add some more decorations to your drums. It's up to you. And yeah, awesome. So thank you so much for listening, guys. I had an awesome time making this, and I hope you guys did too. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.